Dun-dun-dun. Live on the clock when Dom decides to show up. Oh, Dom, it was great for you to show up, Dom. I appreciate it. Coming in at the last minute.
Got my pick in with 24 seconds to go.
24 seconds to go. 24 seconds. That's what she said. And I'm actually donating 23 seconds to that. Oh, Dom. It's 24 seconds to go. We got 24 seconds. Tuesday. You know what that means?
It means we got a new punter.
Well, it means, you know what? Every time we come onto the show, every time we do something.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. We were waiting for the Wink Martindale news, Dom and I, and we were hoping that I was going to come on the show.
Wink's coming on, is he?
Oh, Wink is coming on.
In power.
Wink is. You know what? People have talked to me and they tell me, you willed this, Tim. You've been talking about this move for I don't know how long, and people are going, oh my God. I did a video, and during the video, they hired Wink. And people are like, oh my God, Tim did it again. Okay. So now I want to bring back, let's bring back Lawrence Taylor. Let's clone him. Put it out there right now, Dom.
Are you the New York Giant equivalent of Uri Geller, who is this sort of psychic in the UK? And every time we have a big football match, you have to touch the fork on some newspaper. It's like completely ridiculous. But you are the Giants equivalent of Uri Geller.
I don't know that.
You don't want to know who he is. Don't worry, you're fine.
I'm the lady from the Call Me Now videos, the Jamaican lady that gives out the information. I forgot what she's called, what her name was. That would be the big one. Jeff is in the house dropping in. This might be true. Dom is clean shaven. He must be interviewing new girls for his club. Dom, are you interviewing new girls for the club?
Yep, interviews are Friday, 5 to 9 p.m. So, it's exciting times. It's a tough job. Someone has to do it. I volunteered.
That's what Mrs. Dom said. Well, you're walking into all these today.
Oh, dear me. She's just recovered from the COVID and she's going out again tomorrow night. I think she's trying to pick it up so she can have another couple of weeks away from me.
I think that might be the case as well. I like Wink style, very aggressive. The only thing, the bend not breaking the quarterbacks on opposing teams. I hated the bend not break. I think everyone knows how much I hated the bend not break defense. I think it was well documented how much I hated it, Dom.
Bend not break's fine. The problem was we kind of broke quite a lot.
And bend and do not break does not work. Miss Cleo, that's who calling me now. We have a new. I'll unveil one of them now. We have a new sound effect for the winker. For the wink.
I've been looking forward to this.
I've got two of them. So the first one's going to be, because I've coined it already. I'm already calling it. It's going to be the wink attack. Warning, it's the wink attack. Warning, it's the wink attack. So we're going to have the wink attack because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the 3-4 aggressive style defense. He's blitzed as much as 44% of the time 3 years ago. I think it was 34% last year, which was still, I think, the sixth highest percentage in the league. And then he had another ridiculous year in the middle in reference to blitzing. I mean, finally, Dom, Giants defensive your attack.
Back to the Future, I think you called it, didn't you?
Yes. No, not Back to the Future, Back to the Past.
Back to the Past, sorry.
Back to the Past. That's what it is. It's Back to the Past. What's up, OGR? OGR coming into his house. But it's going to be an attacking style defense. It's going to be an aggressive style defense. You figure he's not going to all of a sudden come to New York after all of his years in Baltimore and go, you know what? I'm going to play the soft shell zone.
Oh, dear. Do you think there'll be any dialing back slightly while he gets his sort of pieces in place to play the way he wants, or
no?
Do you think there'll be no altering? This is how I play. I haven't quite got the pieces, but we're going for it now.
You got to go full steam ahead. Pedal to the metal, full board. You got to throw caution to the wind because you know what? You're probably going to dump Bradbury to save some money on the cap. But you're still going to have Dory Jackson. I like Robinson. You're still going to have some guys that can cover corner. And you know what? I've said this a million
got
times.
the likes of McKinney in the secondary as well. Don't forget.
Got McKinney. I've said this a million times. A good pass rush can cover for bad corner play, and bad corner play can cover for a bad pass rush. And we had the opposite. We had the good corner play covering for a bad pass rush.
Just, it is an interesting question. I'm sure someone will ask it later, and I'm saying so myself. But I mean, we obviously don't know the Giants' draft philosophy. Like, we can predict it, but we're predicting. We've got nothing to work with. Do you think this potentially changed anything? Because the rationale was probably that if we take a defensive player, the first defensive player we'll take would be an edge. Do you think it changed it to a secondary, given the fact that he was heavily reliant on a good secondary for his defense in Baltimore?
He was actually heavily relied on a good defensive line play.
Yes, he was. But you're not taking a defensive tackle
from Jacksonville. He had a good line. He lost his 3 top corners last year. So I mean, like I said, you can cover a lot in this league with a great pass rush. And sometimes it's not just about the pass rush; it's about the scheme. It's about, and honestly, I pulled out a couple stops, and I called some people, and I found someone sent me audio from a meeting, one of Wink's defensive meetings.
Wow.
So this is a player. These are players. This is actually an audio from the Wink meeting back in Baltimore.
What's your assignment? Kill the quarterback. Hit the tight end so hard his girlfriend dies. Kill everybody.
That's from the Wink meeting. And Don for a second. Don was like, "Wow, really?"
I mean, I was building the suspense. Part of me was like, "This is clearly another setup," but part of me was like, "Well, you do know some people. There is a chance that you have something here. Like, you might know a guy who knows a guy." But yeah, it's like,
okay.
As soon as you started to play, I was like, "Yeah." All right.
I added the music.
It was the former, not the latter.
I added the music, and I want some apologies. I said,
now?
Shut up. I said I don't think it was your stream. I think it was the Sunday stream. I can't remember which stream it was. I said Kevin Abrams is no longer going to be involved with the cap. I said this, and I said, telling you, he is not involved in the cap. And I said it kind of to the point, like, Wink, I'm telling you, and not Wink Martindale, that he's not going to be involved because someone may have mentioned it to me.
You did. You hinted that, although at the time, and I put in the stream at the time, he was still the capologist at that point. Your response was, he is not going to be. You were heavily leaning that way, and of course, he has been reassigned within the organisation in the last half an hour, 45 minutes.
I want some apologies. See, I still got some juice. Going on. I've
got another killer question for you.
Sure.
Martinez or Bradbury? Which one you taking?
Neither.
I don't forget.
Neither. I'm not taking either. Maybe we can get a pass rush now, Jay says. Maybe we can. Maybe we can. I don't know. We will. Right, Dom? Now we can
I think you're looking, if you're the first defensive player, if you're taking 5 or 7, a defensive player, you're probably still looking at an edge unless they've all gone off the board.
Nope. Telling you this right now. Nope.
Lloyd, you
linebacker.
Linebacker is also something there. A
linebacker who can rush that you could pair with Ojulari.
If only there was one in the draft last year that we could have had.
A couple of years. Think about this though. You put, and I'm not a big fan of it, but you put Dexter Lawrence. Where are you gonna put him? You're running a 3-4. Where are you putting Dexter Lawrence?
I mean, you know schemes better than I do.
You're putting him in the nose, the quasi nose tackle position.
Tomlinson, yeah.
You are then going to take your Leonard Williams, make him one of the edges. You are going to find an edge either in via free agency or the draft, and then you're going to have a backfield. I should say not a backfield, but you're going to have the linebacking core starting with Ojulari, Devin Lloyd, and probably Tay Crowder, and then you're going to have your regular guys.
And then Crowder comes back as a backup if we can get a second one in 2023.
Yep, exactly. And then
I could tell you thought it through, and you know scheme better than I, so I would always defer to you on scheme, 100%.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be the line from Remember the Titans. You're going to blitz all night. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. You're straight off the top of the show. I said, does he dial back it for a year while he gets a piece in place, or does he go all in? And I think the expectations being low this year, you're daft to not do that. You're daft not to go, look, this is the way we want to play. Hey, can you do it? Can you not do it? If you can do it, you might have a future here. If you can't do it, see you later.
Exactly.
Rather than, because we're not in a position where we're going to be going to the playoffs next year. So therefore, you want to be playing the way you want to play, rather than getting necessarily the most out of the pieces you necessarily have next year. I think that's how I would do it as well, because there's no expectation.
No expectation. And Mr. Alvarez has a perfect right here. We need a linebacker in the draft. Our current linebackers won't cut it in the wing style.
Our current linebackers won't cut it in almost any style.
I don't think our defensive alignment in the front's gonna cut it either. But Williams is gonna have to find another gear. If Leonard Williams cannot revert back to, but if Leonard Williams cannot be more of what he was 2 years ago under this system, then Leonard Williams is a bum. I already think he's a bum. I think he's an $11 million man taking a $28 million paycheck.
I mean, yeah, we both agree he's never worth the money. I don't necessarily think he can necessarily refund the form from 2 years ago, because it was a career season, always probably will be, but he has to get nearer that than he was this year, 100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, I agree with you on the linebacker. Linebacker is the three positions that I would be targeting heavily in those first three picks. I think you take best player available. I really do, because there's so many holes. I've said that before, but our offensive line, edge, and linebacker, unless there's a quarterback you love, and I know you do, but I'm
still taking Willis at 5, and I'm still taking Lloyd at 7.
I'm trading 7. So, but Dean might be there, of course, depending on how far you trade back.
I don't want Dean. Lloyd is a more polished, finished product.
Yeah, but if you trade back, is Lloyd
now?
There? Is Lloyd there if you trade back? It depends how far you trade back, right? But
no,
you're not trading 7 anymore.
I'm not trading 7 anymore. I am not trading. I am on the phone with the Shane, and I'm telling him, Shane, don't trade 7. Courtesy of Online Big Blue.
Is this one of your internal tapes? Are we going to hear the call next week?
You'll hear the call next week. I want someone to. I want some apologies, man, because people are like, you don't know anything. Kevin Abrams is still going to be the capologist. And then not even 12 hours later, his title came out of what he was going to be.
I didn't actually see anyone saying he's not going to be. I saw some, including myself, say he is currently. I didn't see the one.
You know what? You can add the currently, but you were wrong.
We were accurate at the time.
You were accurate at the time, but I'm always right. I'm all fired up now because I got a defensive guy. I'm ready. It's going to be the wink attack.
Warning. It's the wink attack. Warning.
That's what's going to be coming in waves. It's going to be waves, Dom. I'm a defensive guy. Everybody knows that.
There are people in London right now having.
I know, scurrying.
Scurrying for the underground.
They're going, oh my God. Maybe we have a pass rush now. We do have a pass rush now. Hutchinson or Tibbs would be nice for Wink to play with. He would be. I agree, but I still think you got to go linebacker.
Hutchinson's not going to be there. I wouldn't have.
No, he's not going to be there. What's up? What's going on, my friend? We got the Winky Dinky Dog. Wink doggy dog. Bow wow wow. Yippee yo yippee yay. Sorry. Dom's like, I don't know what the hell he does half the time. Depending on who we pick up on defense.
Smile and wave.
Who should be? Well, at least we are going to be competitive next year. We will be competitive next year, Ron. We will. Oh,
we can't be less competitive than we were in the back half.
Yeah, we could be less competitive. We are probably going to be less competitive. That's okay. Because now the geniuses are coming out and saying the Giants are negative 10 million. I think someone's already been saying this. I see all these people and I see all the geniuses on Twitter now. We're negative $10 million in the salary cap. Wow, really? I don't know if you ever heard that, Don. That was pretty shocking to me.
I mean, we weren't saying, both of us, in fairness, weren't saying the same 12 months ago. Do you know what? I had the King of Idiots on earlier laughing at me about our cap situation. Unfortunately for him, he hadn't seen the news about who his new special teams coordinator was at the time, which is why I was ringing him. And the smug look on his face will soon change.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
His words were, "No, you're joking. You're winding me up because I've been winding up about the cat." I was like, "I am not joking." He's like, "No, we haven't." I was like, "Yep."
It's like, yes, we have. Hey, T-Brad's in the house saying, "Hey, that's Dom. The boys are back in town." Yeah, yeah, because the boys are back in town. That's a song, Dom.
I'm familiar. Do you know what? I am almost tempted to quickly run out and go and grab a beer because it's made me so happy that I should have brought a beer up with me.
Trust me, you won't be missed. You can go. You're fine.
Should I just wait? Should I just wait for Maris Carpenter to come on because he should be the co-host rather than me?
I know Maris Carpenter should already be the co-host, but you know, you won't be missed.
You can't.
You want to know why? But you know what, Dom? You will be missed. You want to know why?
You can't have Maris as the co-host anyway because you're supposed to be the star and he would take over.
Oh yeah, because we know it's poppycocker time. The best of the London adult entertainment in the West End. If you're looking to get your poppycock, you run down the Poppycockers. And once again, it's 2-for-1 lap dance elf night. Bring in your favorite elf to Poppycockers, and we will get your poppycocked.
Elf night. Oh man. Oh dear me.
Seriously wrong with me.
Bring your pointy ears and you might get... No, never mind.
Not talking about that. What's up, Bird Gang? Bird Gang 31, if you don't know him, he's an Eagle channel. Go out and check out the Bird Gang. Tyrone is in the building. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Will they be drafting a linebacker with pick number 1? Yes.
Well, pick number 1 is going to be an offensive tackle, isn't it? Because Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock.
No, he means our pick.
I know.
He means our pick. Our pick.
I know. How do you say Jacksonville again? I can't remember.
Jaguars.
Because I know you said it wrong in the video yesterday.
I don't say it wrong. I say it
right. Very disappointed.
Because if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. We got the moderator in the house saying, don't forget to smash that like button. Because if you don't smash the like button, bad things happen.
Very quickly, can the moderator kick me out? Because that's worrying if I've got 2 of you potentially.
See, that's easy. Not only can the moderator kick Dom, and I can kick him out.
Oh, I was just have to get a beer.
Stingley, please. I know Stingley Jr. is running up high on the draft boards. I can't take a corner.
I haven't looked. I think we've invested heavily in the corner situation. I think the secondary needs improving, but not necessarily this year. I think it's going forward. I think we have bigger needs right now. But as I was alluding to earlier, I think, I imagine the Giants will be taking a darn close look at Stingley, given the need. I can't do Stingley. But I wouldn't be doing that either. I think there are other needs far greater than that.
Does no one remember what happened to the Lions just a couple of years ago? They took a corner very high.
They did. It's gone marvelously well.
It really has. It's almost it's not a DeAndre Baker situation.
No.
But it has gone marvelously well. Do you think since Wink runs an attacking 3-4, the Giants will draft more linebackers?
They need to.
Yes, Zach. Jesus. Oh, I'm like 10 minutes behind on I'm like 10 minutes behind on the chats here.
Well, someone didn't send the link to me till a couple of minutes for the show, so we didn't chat beforehand. So therefore, we did it live and forgot that other people were here commenting.
It was the moderator. Would love a trade down. All right, okay, I can do that.
I'm not against a trade down, and I think it A helps the cap, and B might get you more picks going forward because I think that's the way you build this team is picks.
I agree. Let's see what Skylar has to say. This is a year we need to find an identity, draft some players, develop our talent, but we need to figure out who we are as a team, as an identity. I know who we are. We're an attacking style defense.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
What do you thought I was going to say?
I thought you were going to press that Malik Willis Express button. That's what I was expecting as the identity.
Why would I push that button?
Well, your quarterback gives your offense identity and purpose 9 times out of 10. It's an offensive league. There's your identity. Offensive-minded head coach. I thought that's what you were going to go with.
We are going to have a point when the defense is attacking, and the quarterback's on the floor, and he's going to be laying there, and he's going to look at Wink and say,
"Make the bad man stop."
That's what's going to happen.
I mean, the advantage of the offensive defense, if you like, is that actually, if it works, we will get better field position for the offense. If it fails, well, we can't put it up. We can't concede less points than we did last year, right? So you're no worse off. I'm
No.
serious.
I like the way you're back. I love this one. Hashtag Elf Night.
Elf Night.
It's Elf Night. It's 2-for-1 lap dance Elf Night. Mike Wayfield's in the house. Mike.
Elf Night.
Mike, you won something, and I cannot now remember what you won.
Did he win a 2-for-1?
You won the ring.
Night?
Dom, Mike, you won the ring. You won the replica ring. I've been looking for you for like, well, honestly, I haven't been looking for you, but I do look out for you all the time. I'm not gonna lie. I do look out for you. I do look out for you when you're in the comments. You have to email me, onlinebigbblue@gmail.com, Mike. I love this app, but the team will still suck. Yeah, this team's still gonna suck.
Yeah, we have to. I've been saying it for weeks. We have to be patient with this team. We have to accept whatever we are next year, and we have to give it 2-3 years to let the team sort of build slowly.
Well, build back up again. Build back. Tim, hey, Tim. Judge is going back to New England. Jealous? Yeah, I'm jealous. Oh, no. Hold on. Judge is going back to New England.
We should all take a moment to sympathize with Patriots fans everywhere.
Yeah, I forgot. Wait, hold on. Wait. All right, I'm all better.
I have heard though he is hosting a party tonight for his
pizza and beer. It's the pizza and beer party.
Yeah.
I want to drop in a special
Daniel
guest.
Jones has turned up.
I wanted to bring in a special guest here again today because I am a man of my word. I am awesome. I just wanted to say that. It just had nothing to do with the special guest. But I wanted
said it in the comments earlier how awesome you were. I'm surprised you didn't click on it and put it in spotlights and all.
I listen. I get that comment all the time. But I do want to drop in a special guest for a little bit because I like I said, I like to get other perspectives, of course, from the Giant community, getting an idea of what other people think besides us, because we're not allowed to go on any other shows because nobody likes us outside of Bad Dog. So I want to drop in another guy here, added to the stream, OGR Sports, running into the house, wearing his champion, is Under Armour champion? I can't remember. Under Armour. There we go. Mr. OGR. The wink is in the house. It's a winky dink.
We called it. We called it 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. I forget about these things. What do you? I mean,
3 weeks ago.
I think it was longer than that. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you and I have talked about this. I know you and I have wanted the winker. I think Dom did at one point too. But now he's here.
Fangio was my top pick, but I was more than happy to wink Martindale.
Well, you know what? Fangio was your top pick, so you can stay in timeout because we didn't want Fangio. So what are your thoughts here, man? I mean, we got him. He's here.
I mean, I'm ecstatic. It's the coordinator we wanted. It's an attacking style defense, which we all wanted. Although I do think in his first year with the pieces he may or may not have, Giants fans expect that play where we bring that blitz and we're playing a better quarterback and they take it to the house.
And I think
that's gonna be a repeating thing because I don't think. See, what I think happened is. He refused to adjust, but his defense is his defense, and he's going to play because he believes in his players. I'm not saying he can't adjust, but that's probably what the Ravens should have done on the back half of more of a, even though he's more of an attack style guy, what I'm trying to get is maybe he should have taken a bend not break approach toward the end of the season because that's what the Ravens needed toward the end of the season with all the injuries. And I think he just went full bore and said, it doesn't matter. I believe in my guys. I believe in the guys we drafted. I believe in the guys next man up, like you were talking about, because a lot of times, to use an example out of your book, you were talking about, you were comparing the Giants and the Tennessee Titans and saying, listen, look at all the injuries, next man up with the Tennessee Titans. And that's what Wink tried to happen with the Ravens. It didn't work out, but at the end of the day, I have no idea why he left. But
I have no. I mean, like I said, you lose your top three corners. You lost your starting quarterback, and you're relying more on your defense. And I think and this is a question I did want to ask though, and because you kind of alluded to it. I mean, at that point in time, do you think it was arrogance that he just said, "Well, listen, I'm just going to keep running my style and not adjusting"? I mean, because arrogance can kill you.
Arrogance can kill you. I mean, and also, maybe Jim Harbaugh wanted to go in a different direction. I mean, at the end of the day, coordinators they work together. He's been there since 2012, like you alluded in your earlier video, which I didn't even know.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Sometimes you grow tired of working with somebody. It's as simple as that. And not to say the guy's not a good coach or can't do it. It's just sometimes you just get tired of working with somebody. I imagine that happens in the NFL. Obviously, Tim, you would know that better than I would. But I mean, it could be something as simple as that. I don't think there's any like real mystery to this.
No, I agree. And just so you know, OGR, Nikki misses you.
I miss Nikki.
OGR, please come back to YouTube. There was a play, and we had a great comment, and I can't find it, but it's by Razzle the Great. Press thumbs up, or you'll be denied entrance into Poppycockers. I think that's for the Dahmer. So we had like James Williams, the triple threat. James Williams, you know what? I tried eating a baby seal today. It didn't work. That's an internal joke between me and James.
It sounded ridiculous, to be honest, but it still made me chuckle, even though I didn't get it. It was like, that's ridiculous.
So both Dom and OGR, we're going to start with OGR. With the Wink coming in, does this change the Giants' draft perception? Does this change their philosophy, what they may have wanted to do or what they're going to do? Coming up in this draft this April.
See, I'm not sure it does because a lot. I'm going to touch on this a little bit because I'm not trying to make this part of the conversation, but a lot of people want certain hires and they want diversity in the NFL. I'm not going to go too far into it, Tim, so don't worry about it. But I think
evidently you missed the stream we had for 2.5 hours when we talked.
No, I watched it. It was great. It was a great conversation. But I'm being careful with the subject. But I think a lot of times people read too much in it. I think a lot of times these teams already know who they're going to hire months in advance, weeks in advance, and they go through the motions because they just can't come out and say, we already agreed with Joe Shane about 4 months ago. Now we're just going through the motions. We think he's our guy, but we're going to do our due diligence to make sure that we crossed our T's and dotted our I's and make sure there's no other, Mike Tomlin type candidate, because they use this on NFL Network all the time. That was going to be Russ Grimm's job.
Right.
After what's his face? Can't think of his name right now. Retired from the Steelers.
Cowler.
That was going to be Russ Grimm's job. It was 100%. They interviewed Mike Tomlin to go through the motions. He blew their socks off. Now he's been there since ever. So, to me, I think Don Wink Martindale, once he was out of the Ravens, the Giants knew they wanted him. They went through their due diligence. They're going through their motions with the draft. I think they're going to end up pulling, they're going to start drafting guys that fit Martindale's scheme. And they knew that for weeks now.
And Mr. Jackson says, why am I always late to the party? Thank you for the live. I haven't the super chat. Super chat's good at Philadelphia Children's Hospital. That's why I'm always late to the best live stream on YouTube. But what's up, OGR? Thank you, Mr.
What's going
Jackson.
on, my man?
What's going on, Dom? I mean, we were talking on it briefly. Does the draft philosophy change? Does it switch up at all for the Giants?
I think it does amongst the fan base who are trying to predict what's happening. But I mean, I'm with OGR. You have your style. Whether they knew Martindale was going to be available, probably not. But I think he was available fairly soon after, if not just before Shane was hired. And I think that Shane will have come in. He and Dable will be very quickly discussing that. So whether they had a set philosophy or not before they came, I would imagine so. I imagine they discussed it going forward. So I think they already had a plan. What it might do is go, do you know what? We didn't have this player quite so high up our draft board, but now we've got this. Let's move him forward. But I still think that they have a philosophy how they want to play. They have a 2-3 year draft plan, not necessarily the players, but the types of players they're after. And I don't think that changes just because you've hired Martindale. I don't. But it will for fans. You've got people like Stingley now being looked at by a Giants fan that probably weren't.
Right. Again, like I said, I have to go with positional value in the draft. I love this one from Mr. Hilltop. I thought OGR was Brian Dable when I joined the live. You know what's funny? I was going to actually I was going to tell OGR, why don't you go around and get a Giant shirt on? Because I kind of thought for a second, the beard is better. You have the better beard than he does. So I was going to say, you run out and get, I was going to lie and say, yeah, it's
and have you got a blue pickup truck?
Well, that just makes you a great coach.
Yeah, it does.
You should know that by now, Dom. Oh my goodness.
We don't really do pickup trucks over here.
No, I didn't. Besides, how do you? I mean, if you have a pickup truck in the UK, when you park it next to your tree, the tree just looks so small. Or I'm sorry, is that in Hobbitland? I always forget. I do apologize, though. Oh my! And I digress. I love this comment right here. Jay might have as well added Lawrence, Carson, Taylor, Banks, and Reasons. I've added the rest of that. We're gonna move forward with this, guys. We're gonna go forward here. If we had the Giants need a good cover corner for Wink's defensive scheme, which is true, which is 100% true. Question is, guys, is there? I mean, we're $10 million, negative $10 million in cap space. I don't know where that came from because I never heard of that. I didn't hear someone mention that. I don't know, like 3 weeks ago, but I was told that was stupid. Dom, you should stop telling me I'm stupid. I mean, we're going to cut a bunch of guys. We're going to be in salary cap purgatory. I mean, and I don't want to put anyone on the spot though, but can you think of any, because he's not wrong. He's 100% right. A cover linebacker that may be available via free agents. I know free agents aren't set yet, but is there anyone out there you guys think that the Giants can pick up pretty much on, on dollar store pricing?
I'll be the first to tell you, I haven't looked anything into free agency. And as far as the linebackers that'll be available, I mean, do we have anybody on the roster that can fit that role? Is the first question you ask.
We actually, not on the roster, but I was thinking about this. Dom, do you think of it? Can you think of any
like OGR? I haven't, and I'll tell you why, because we haven't got any cap at the moment, and I just expect we'd be trying to pick up people late, that are cut from various teams as we go on, trying to pick up those cut price 1 year prove a deal contracts. So I haven't really looked either. Free agency is not exciting me right now because I don't think we'll be doing a lot.
We had a guy on this team. He got hurt. He played on, not this year, but last year he played 100% of the snaps, and 67% of those snaps he played in the box. He's not a linebacker though, but he could fill in as a cover linebacker if we can bring him back on the cheap. I'm talking about Peppers. He to me would.
Do you think he come back? Do you think he come back cheap?
No.
I was going to say I don't see that as an option.
Did you come back cheap, Don?
I mean, I'm always cheap. We've established this, but Peppers doesn't come back, right? I mean, there's no
way. Here's the scenario.
Not unless you can clear some cap space for him.
Right.
But
what's up,
here's the scenario I see with Jabril Peppers. Sorry to cut you off, Don.
No, go for it.
Where he goes out, looks at the market, teams may be wary of the injury history now. He's going to want big money. Teams are not going to give it to him. He may come back here, similar with Marcus Golden, where you basically give him a 1 year prove it deal. There is a scenario where I see that happening. Do I think it's going to happen now?
Yeah, I don't see it happen. And I think this is a great point by Zach. And thank you for the super chat. Zach, I think Betcher's sour Giant fans on the 3-4. We ran a 3-4 successfully for eons. From the 80s into the 90s. You have Carson, Banks, Taylor, and Reasons. You got Jim Bird, Eric Howard. You got Leonard Marshall.
Peppers.
You got George Martin. Pepper Johnson. You got all these guys. Yeah, you got all these guys on, like, even going back to Bradley Van Pelt and Brian Kelly. You got all these guys that we ran this and won championships with. And the 86 defense is considered, I know by the NFL Network, I think was ranked 4th or 5th of the greatest defense ever in NFL history. And that was a 3-4. So, I actually think this is a really good point by Zach. Did James Betcher sour the Giants on the 3-4 style defense? Dom?
Whether James Betcher did, but it certainly, since he was here, it certainly seems to have gone that way. I've never been too cut up on it. I think you run the formation that best suits, and if you can disguise it in some way, your plays, that's where you get your best thing. But I think you just run the system that suits your coordinator and suits the players you've got, whether it's 3-4, 4-3, or whatever. You run the system that suits. Never that bothered what it is.
OGR?
I think it's actually a lot simpler of an explanation even than that. I think it's most of the Giants fans saw the Super Bowls in recent history. It's with a 4-3, with Michael Strahan, O.C. Umenyiora, those guys. And they look at it as, why did we switch?
Right.
That's basically it. I don't even think it's James Betcher or any of that. I just think they look at the success that was before, they see the success now with the 3-4, and they're like, okay, the 4-3 is a better system. And some fans are that, quote unquote, dumb.
We don't say that on the show. This is a show of love. I would like to apologize to everyone out there right now that's been offended by OGR by calling some fans dumb. I would like to apologize because this is a show of love. We're turning over a new leaf. And those idiots that are fans, I'm sorry, I want to call them idiots again. There are some fans that are just dumb. Let's be honest. We've all sitting next to him in the stands. I mean, it's not, and you hear some of the things that they say. So yeah, I don't disagree with that. OGR has a real man goatee, a real man's goatee.
I appreciate it. But the other thing is, I'm like, if this is such a warm and heartfelt show, why is it sponsored by Poppycockers?
Stop audio.
What do you mean by that? All right, everyone, this is sponsored by Poppycockers this hour. Best in the London adult entertainment in the West End. It's not only 2 for 1 elf night, but trolls get in for half price. And once again, if you want your poppycock, you know where to go. You come down to Poppycockers.
Are you insulting my girls by calling them trolls? Because they will not take kindly to that.
I don't know. Maybe they are trolls. I haven't been to Poppycockers. I'm not cool enough to go to Poppycockers. I don't know anything about hobbits or Middle Earth stuff.
I mean, you can't all be as cool. You can't all be as cool as me rocking my woolly jumper.
Do you have the man blanket?
Of course, I have the man blanket. The heating's gone off. It's cold.
We got Pestiellos coming in here and say, I'm pitching a permanent 10 to my pants today. Do you need to go to Poppycockers?
I was going to say, we can sort that out with Poppycockers.
We can sort. Well, no, you can't because there's no sex in the champagne room. You know.
No.
I forgot about Jalen Smith. That's I'm trying to scan through all the comments.
I thought Jalen Smith got picked up.
Here we go. No, he's no. I don't think so. Let's go. Dom, Google.
I'm right.
Too bad I quickly Googled before you did. Jalen Smith, did he sign somewhere?
I thought he went to the Eagles, but I could be wrong.
If he went to the Eagles, then I hate Jalen Smith. I hate him. Oh yeah, he signed with the signs. Pat signed. No, it's former wide receiver Jalen Smith.
No, Green Bay Packers.
He was already on the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, no, I'm just catching up.
Oh, Tom, shut up! You don't know. You lost your Google ability.
I'm not. I've never had it. Google? I never had it.
I have to switch positions. I'd have to go over to my computer.
No, you don't have to Google.
No, he's on our practice squad.
You can. Was those Franciscan cups in the back? When you went past your house,
Hutch?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what they are.
They look like Desert Road Franciscans.
He's with us still. So
yeah, you don't need to Google. I was just trying to find someone that can Google. Yeah, what about Jalen Smith? He's not a cover linebacker.
I was going to mention him, but I mean, he's athletic enough to do it. I mean, that's really.
Well, see, here's the thing. Blake Martinez, we've talked about this. Blake Martinez's coverage ability has gone up and down over the years. He's had one season where he's like the 8th ranked cover linebacker. The next year he's like 26th. And coming back off the ACL, I don't think he's going to be a cover guy. And we're going to need a cover guy. I mean, Ojulari to me is not a cover guy. He's going to be a guy that's going to blitz. Devin Lloyd. But I think, we need to find someone, literally in the draft. But I think if you actually add a Jalen Smith in there as kind of the run, if you're running the 3-4, you need your 2 middle linebackers. You need your inside linebackers. Harry Carson was not a cover guy. Gary Reasons was not a cover guy. Pepper Johnson was a cover guy. But the 2 quality linebackers that we would have, you want your cover guys to be your 2 outside linebackers. And I don't think Ojulari is, we're going to need him for the rush. But I think I don't know what you guys think, but I think Jalen Smith can still fill a role in the linebacker.
I think you'd be getting him fairly cheap as well.
How
Absolutely, because he has a lot to prove.
Yeah, he does.
It's amazing.
KJ
it's amazing the guy that had hundreds of tackles. I mean, it's amazing the guy 2 years ago. No, now it's 2 years ago. He had 2 seasons in a row. He had like 140, 150 tackles, and he's got to prove himself. That's today's.
I hear you, but it's like,
No, I agree.
What have you done for your ladies?
Exactly what I was just going to say. It's not what you did 2 years ago.
It's what
KJ Wright is a free agent again.
KJ Wright. KJ Wright's now old. I don't want KJ Wright anymore. Logic's fine. It says Tim Dom OGR. Hi everyone.
For a rant, I'm disappointed.
I'm not going to rant. I got here late. It's late in the evening where I am, but I hope fans will be realistic. The defense won't go for 32nd to top 10. Well, the good news is I think they'll go above 32nd.
We were 23rd last year.
23rd or 25th.
23rd.
I would ask you to Google it, Dom.
I'm on it.
We know how that works out.
25th.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you know what? With Don Wink, I'll say we'll be like 17th. That's what it tells me.
17th. I would take 20th. You know what I have to give the credits? I have to give all the credit in the world to the Shane and the Dable because, and I don't think a lot of fans are listening, but they're trying to, they've said it multiple times. We need to be realistic. We need to set expectations. And I think a lot of the fans are missing that. And I think OGR called them all dumb. So listen, I want to have the heat on someone else besides me for a change.
But it is, he's right though. It's dumb. I keep saying this. It is dumb. I'll share the heat with OGR. It is dumb to think that we're going to the Super Bowl next year, or we're going to take the division title, or we're going to the playoffs. It is dumb. It is unrealistic. We are going to have to rebuild this team from the ground up, and that does not happen overnight unless you get Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback and you can take your offense up 20 places overnight. That offense was 32nd, 31st last year, but defense 25th. You don't go from that to a playoff team unless you get darn lucky. Or you had a San Francisco's 49ers situation from a few years back where they were so banged up, they finished second, but they were never the second worst team in football, and therefore their rise was always going to be meteoric from where they were the year before because they were that banged up.
Right. Mike Lang has a great point. Great point here. Seems like the mayor is watching giant YouTubers. Fans are winning the offseason and getting their guys. I don't know if the fans are really winning the offseason. I think and you guys could disagree, but I'll just cut you off and then I'll just ban you both. But I think for a point though, I think it's the fact that I think the Giants are just finally doing things intelligently. That's I think they're doing their due diligence, and I think they're looking at the best people. Like I said, I do not agree with. Good point. I don't agree with the Kafka. I don't. What are your guys? Before I get to my other point with Mike, what do you guys think of Mike Kafka coming in? We'll start with OGR.
To me, I'm I hate to agree with you, but I'm going to on this one. Inexperience makes me nervous. I don't know, I don't care if you've worked with Patrick Mahomes. That doesn't mean much to me because it's freaking Patrick Mahomes. You put Pat Shurmur on that system in it for Mike Kafka. Is anything really going to change? I'm sorry. A lot of people put too much stock in who you've worked with. And to me, we have no credible, at least with Pat Shurmur or an offense coordinator, we can sit there and say, okay, you've done this. Okay, here's your scheme. We got nothing to break down with Mike Kafka. We don't know. We just know who he worked with, where he's coming from. And we're going to play the hype train. Hopefully he proves me wrong.
But here's
Brian Dable has a good eye.
I don't want to stop you there for a second, but you brought up a great point. It's not like we hired a coach who got fired twice and hooked up his wagon to Josh Allen. It's the same thing. But kind of, I will say that that Dable has more experience, but to everything that you just said about Kafka, you can revert that to our head coach because he got fired by Andy Reid. I can't remember who the other guy that fired him, but he's not really had success in the NFL and college, great success until he found Josh Allen. So is he a product of Josh Allen or is he a product of just all of a sudden becoming real good, Dom?
What you have to hope with Dable is that he's learned his lessons from those experiences where it didn't go too well and has developed and grown. I'm less nervous about Dable given his experience around the NFL than I am Kafka. You said it yourself. You could be the OC for the Chiefs with Mahomes and be successful. The only thing I would say is to play devil's advocate because I'm also nervous because he's inexperienced. The only things that make me less nervous are if I was going to have an inexperienced coordinator, it would be my OC rather than my DC, given who our head coach is. You'd have thought that Dable will call the plays for a year or two.
That's what I was thinking.
To sort of help Kafka sort of learn the ropes. And he's learning the ropes at least with less expectation, or should be less expectation. Right. But I think there were potentially better hires out there, but we have seen young up and coming OC, Kellen Moore. I don't know what his experience was beforehand, but I don't think it was that great from memory.
Kellen Moore really didn't become he became the offensive coordinator for Dallas. He didn't really
quite.
Yeah. But
I don't think he had much before, right?
He cut his chops with Dallas.
He came up through their system and therefore was familiar with it, and
He was
therefore
familiar with everything else. Yeah,
the step was less big because he was familiar with the system, whereas Kafka's got to come from a very different system in Kansas. But there are coordinators that do come through quite quickly, and their plays can be quite exciting. But you know, there is nervousness there, definitely, that inexperience. He's 34, and he's been in around the league 2017, I think.
He's been in 17. He started with he was a graduate assistant in 16, and he came in with the KC on 17. So I mean, he's
this is year 5.
It's year 5. Mr. Jackson, we're not going to pause.
Sorry, he's just had year 5. It's year 6.
Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Jackson. We're not going to pause the pest. I don't see the pest doing anything wrong, and I know that's a joke. So we're not going to do it. Dom needs to get wonked. What did Dom do? I mean, literally, I am all for wonking Dom. I mean, I am all for it. But what did he do? For that request.
I just think they want to see Dom wonking.
You lose. Good day, sir.
All right, we donked Shane. We wonked the Dahmer. So now it's the Tim and the OGR show. So now that we've gotten rid of Dom, I mean, Kafka. I mean, like I said, everything you just said about Kafka, you could say about Dable. So did that change anyone's opinion about Dable? Like, let's say the offense implodes, and let's say it is Kafka. Is the blame going to fall on Kafka, or is it going to fall on Dable, or is it going to fall on both?
To me, it's going to fall on both, but I think Giants fan logic will instantly go to Kafka. Oh, the inexperience, that's why, you know.
That's what I was thinking.
And, you know, it's going to go back to something Tim said, where it's like the head coach installs these concepts in the team. It's not always on the offensive coordinator.
Right.
I mean, obviously it has a little bit to do, but at the end of the day, it was under your watch. So
right, it's a philosophy. And Dom, you're right. Online Big Blue Mod. Dom still cannot Google.
I know, even the mod's having a pop now, you know.
I got to throw out the mod because the mod cracks me up sometimes. Oh, greatness. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. The Giants are going to attack on offense and defense what they lack under the judge. They weren't aggressive with the players they have, in my opinion. I agree too. I think the Giants' aggressiveness, it was almost funny because Joe Judge was the tough guy. We're going to play 60 minutes of smash mouth football. We're going to crack you in the face. And then as soon as he gets on the goal line or on the third, you know, he's on the 2-yard line, it's victory formation, you know, quarterback sneak twice. That's not being aggressive, and that got you fired. How aggressive, though, do you guys think I have a feeling we're going to be uber aggressive on defense. But how aggressive, OGR, do you think we're going to be on offense?
I think we're going to be aggressive across the board, because I think the biggest problem with the Giants for the last 2 years is we've played not to lose.
Right.
I mean, that's as simple as that. And I think when you're installing something, I think the coaches will be overly aggressive to get that hesitancy out of these players, because there will be a little bit of hesitancy. It's a brand new system, brand new philosophy. To me, I think that you will see actually way more aggressive Giants, probably more aggressive than the league average, if you will.
There's also the fact that wins a new coaching staff favor with the fans, that you are doing the complete opposite. We you know, I don't necessarily think it's driven by the fans, but we heard you. We're looking to do things differently, and here's how we're doing differently. And here's a really obvious example of how we are doing it differently.
Right. And I agree. And AP, this is for AP. Joe Shane, can you see by Dable's early light? Wink so proudly we hail at Kafka's laugh streaming. There you go for AP. I saw you. It took me a while. I down here on the chat, and that's what she said. But I was trying to scroll down. I had to scroll back up to do this thing. Let's see here. Daniel Jones can't run any offense because he falls flat on his face.
Ooh.
Now, OGR, I honestly, I gotta admit, I don't remember. Are you a Jones fan? I know you're not a Jones lover, but are you a Jones fan coming back here in the 2021 season?
So I wouldn't say I'm a Jones fan. I think about him a little bit higher than you do, which isn't very high. But
that's like a step up from Dom. Sorry, Dom. I apologize. I'm just gonna apologize now because I love Dom.
That's all right. I can take it.
But go ahead. You like him? Yes, you like him a little bit more than I do.
I just think ceiling is an average quarterback in the NFL, and at the very worst, he's a lifetime backup. That's where I look at it.
All right, Dom, what about you? I mean,
that's where I've been saying that he's a poor man starter, as in back end of a league starter, backup quarterback. I think that's where he is. I don't think he takes his team where we want it to go. He's not the future. But let's say he comes back as a starter, and I'm not convinced he is with that neck injury. But it wouldn't surprise me if he did. I think if you're going aggressive, that gives him. There were no excuses for him. Like, there were no excuses for him this year. There were definitely no excuses for him next year, because you've got an offense that should put him in better starting position. Not every time. I think you're right, OGR. You know, I was again alluding to it earlier in the show, that you are going to overcommit and give up easy touchdowns at times. But when it works, you're going to be in better position, and there's no excuse for you not delivering, not putting it in the end zone. There are some wide receivers, there are some weapons, no tight ends at the moment, but you know, and if you're going to release and get players downfield and look to hit them deep, you know, let's see from his best quarterback in the league throwing deep from 2 years ago with his 5 out of 6. Can you do that consistently? Because I think that's the way we'll be looking to play. I'm not 100% convinced he can, but now's the time, Daniel. If you want the job, now's the time.
Michael Anthony, one of my favorite subscribers. Everyone's my favorite subscriber, but he's one of my favorite comment leavers. Wants to know my thoughts on Davis Webb, and I'll get both your thoughts. And he's got a trade scenario. I already don't like the trade because I'm not getting rid of Saquon. I'm going to dump Shep, but I can't get rid of Saquon when he's only making like $8 million and he could potentially have a turnaround season. But Davis Webb, I did a video on it today. I think Davis Webb may not, I think he'll maybe get cut at the end of camp, but everyone says that he is a smart kid, that they say he's not only a gym nut, but he is a quarterback room nut. He's a film nut. He knows the Buffalo system. He knows it well. He knows the intricacies of the system itself. I think he's here to be a tutor for either Malik Willis or Daniel Jones. I mean, that's my thought process, but I can't make the trade, like I said, because I'd get rid of Shep, but I can't get rid of Saquon just yet. Dom, we're going to start with you. Thoughts on Webb, thoughts on the trade.
Do you know what the first thought crossed my mind with Webb was? Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
From the Cowboys when Jason Garrett came across straight away. You know, am I convinced he's an upgrade on Glennon and from? Probably, but we haven't really seen enough of him in the league to know that for certain. But Cooper Rush was a straightaway comparison that I thought. And you know, I think you said it on your video today. He's here as much for Kafka as he is for whoever the quarterback is.
Whoever the quarterback is, yeah. What about the trade?
Just looking at that now. But I'm not trading Saquon preseason. If I trade Saquon, I trade him at the deadline, but not before.
Hopefully build him up a little bit.
You build up his value, and we're talking about ACL and Martinez coming off ACLs. We saw Barkley start to come back towards the end. We've seen countless players across countless sports take an absolute age to come back. And I know people talk about Peterson, but he was the exception. That's not normal. You know, so build up his trade value and then trade him late if your season's done and you're getting decent offer for him. But I'm not doing it beforehand at all.
OGR, I'm gonna ask you the same question. I'm gonna drop out for half a second because I got to run upstairs real quick. So OGR, same question to you.
All right, for me, the same question, and I agree with a lot of what Dom said. But the thing is that what keeps pointing to me is, and I keep saying it, you see the new coaching staff, you see what they've done with all these different quarterbacks and who they've worked with. It keeps pointing to me that the Giants are drafting a quarterback. Everything I see, and I don't know if you agree with me, Dom, I see is that's the way it seems. It just seems that this keeps pointing to we're drafting a quarterback. And I feel we're going in that direction. I've always been nervous about the neck. I've thought about this for a while with Daniel Jones's neck. I don't think he's 100%. I potentially think this is career ending. I think Joe Shane and the Giants potentially think that's too. I think they're hedging their bets and everything, all the pieces they're gathering, just setting up perfectly for a young QB to come in here and be molded. And I'm just waiting for the one day to hear Daniel Jones being traded, and they're going to bring in a veteran quarterback or whoever that may be to start for a season, and you're going to draft a young quarterback like a Malik Willis. That's what I think we're setting up for that, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I think on Jones, look, I've said that I am not against taking a quarterback. I look at doing it differently and putting more pieces in for a quarterback coming in, but I am not going to complain about a quarterback coming in, but I do want it to be a dynamic quarterback rather than your pocket passing quarterback. In terms of Daniel Jones, I mean, you look at the initial comments from Shane and then Dable, and they appear to say Daniel Jones is our quarterback. They appear to say he's the future, but their body language suggests otherwise. And do you know what? The proof will be when they come to May and they have to pick up that 5th-year option, because they're not picking it up. Their 5th-year option, they're not. And I think that even if they don't trade Jones, then he'll just sit out and play out that 4th-year contract, because like you, I think it's career ending. So whether they take a quarterback or not, I think you're exactly right. Jones, they're not going to build this around Jones. They didn't draft him. That's not the way that they look to run their offense, based on Buffalo, based on the Kafka. You look at their quarterbacks they had in Buffalo and Kansas. It doesn't point to Daniel Jones. It does point to a different style quarterback. So I'm with you. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see a new quarterback come in and Jones either sit it out or be traded.
Hey, Dorothy, it's Kansas City. Second time you said Kansas.
Everyone knows what I mean.
No, I didn't. And I'm really smart.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna disagree with you twice.
Okay, well, you know what? If he's gonna disagree with me twice, he can sit in timeout. He can just sit in timeout for as long as I want. Dom, are you gonna play nice with others? Because OGR told me to do it.
Can you if next time
I got a foil now that I can be like, I can just blame OGR. OGR told me to do it. I didn't want to do it. I'm going to do it.
Next time I go in timeout, I am going to get a bit when I'm going to come back.
Okay, Tim, please extend my best to Mrs. Online Blue, Big Blue, and your family. Hope all is well. Logic's finest. Everything is well. Everything is good. I didn't Wonka myself. Dom is back. Dom is back. Jones is a Hall of Famer.
I couldn't get my headphones back in.
That's what he said.
I just realized I'm too lazy to go all the way downstairs.
Oh my goodness. Loads of draft picks and expedite the rebuild. Load up. So if you're going to load up on draft picks, guys, I mean, we got a lot of picks this year. I mean, OGR, do you want to move down from 5 and 7? I mean, I know, of course, it will depend, and it's a kind of a dumb question because it depends on, of course, if the deal is right and someone's going to give you some crazy thing. But do you want to? I mean, but we also have so much need for, I would say, top 10 talent. Do you want to move down from 5 or 7 or both?
To me, piggybacking off of what I said when you left, everything I look at in this coaching staff points to us drafting a quarterback. And if you're going to, you're not going to move out of 5 and 7. I think a lot of people who want to move out of these spots, I get their logic, loading up on future years, trusting that Joe Shane's going to find the talent by still moving down with loading up draft picks, because I think a lot of these guys, they won't come out and say it because you've said it yourself and they probably don't want to hear you say it again. But, about, okay, we'll just save ourselves for Stroud and Young, right. We'll just go draft, and that's a lot of the thing, because a lot of people want to make sure everything's perfectly in pace for the next quarterback. But you can still do that. Just because you draft a quarterback doesn't mean you got to play him right away. You saw that with Patrick Mahomes. You saw that with Aaron Rodgers.
You mean that's not a rule?
Yeah, no, it's not a rule.
Not a rule, because I remember that Eli Manning guy. He played right away, 2004.
Yeah, well, everybody, you can't just do the same thing over and over again and expect the same thing.
The league's in a different place as well to when Eli Manning was drafted as well, to be fair.
All aboard the Malik Willis Express.
I want to jump into the Malik Willis Express. People are like, well, he was only 2 for 4 during the Senior Bowl. All the quarterbacks look bad. He had the one ridiculous play where it looked like a 5-yard loss, and it turned out to be a 40-something yard gain. It was crazy. I don't understand the rules of the Senior Bowl that you switch the ball in the next quarter no matter who has the possession. I didn't get that because Malik would have had a touchdown in my mind. I think if anything, it cemented his stock, because if you I don't know if you guys watched the game, but if you saw that one throw that he had, which was a pass interference, where the guy actually, if the guy didn't interfere, he basically hit him with like 45 yards in the air on the run. I mean,
I watched the whole Senior Bowl. So
yeah, I mean, to me, that was vintage what Malik can do. I mean, does this, and Dom, I don't know if you watched any of the highlights, but Dom, did you see any highlights of the Senior
No,
Bowl?
I haven't seen the Senior Bowl at all. To be honest, I didn't look at it.
So I'm going to ask OGR. Does this change? Now I see some of it change some Giant fans' opinions that, you know, he may be the guy. He could be a quarterback. But do you think that Senior Bowl hurt Malik, or do you think it helped him? Not just in the eyes of the Giant fans, but just in, you know, the eyes of the NFL in general. Because I know they had Dan Campbell on, and the reporter asked him, you know, how bad do you want to draft Malik Willis? And he just started laughing.
Kind of like me.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. I think this exposed the world to Malik Willis. I think you ask Giants fans before the Senior Bowl, who's Malik Willis? They'd be like, who?
Yeah.
And now, obviously, it's exposing the world to it, and everybody is wanting to give their opinion on this kid and what they think. People are looking for the negatives, looking for the positives. For me, there are negatives with Malik Willis.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he stares down a field enough. I like guys that are mobile and look downfield, and part of that could be the Liberty system. And I noticed,
I think he did that more in 2020 than he did in 2021, staring down the field.
I will agree with you there. And then the one thing that comes to my mind is the Wyoming game.
Yeah.
And where was I going to go with this? You know, a lot of times he's a first-read guy. Again, is that the Liberty system, or is that who Malik is? These are some of the stuff he needs to work on coming in the NFL. Obviously, he can polish his accuracy, but he is very accurate, especially with the deep ball down the field. And again, he was under siege almost every play and was able to escape the pocket and keep his eyes downfield. Most of the time, things weren't open. I mean, I don't think he got sacked once, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guy feels like he makes things happen. He's special. And I keep going back to this, and all these pieces that are coming into the Giants, it just points to us drafting a quarterback. I keep saying it.
I agree with that. And this is a good question, Dom. Lorenzo Carter. We were talking about linebackers a minute ago. Wolfie's got a good point here. Lorenzo Carter, of course, he kind of had a little bit of a showcase the last couple of games of the season. I've said a million times that people coming back from an Achilles is going to take some time, but a 1-year deal for Carter. I mean, he could be a pass rushing option at linebacker. He's not going to be much for cover guy. I
think I said it somewhere about week 15, 16. I think if Lorenzo Carter comes back on a good 1-year prover deal for us, I'm all over that. I think then we can see, was his form towards the end of the season, was that recovery from ACL, and is this the future of Lorenzo Carter, or was this a bit of a purple patch for him? Let's find out. We need players that are going to come in on the cheap to prove themselves. He knows the franchise, etc., etc. I know it's going to be a different scheme, different personnel in the coaching staff, but I'm definitely all in favor of bringing Lorenzo Carter back. Can I just on Malik Willis really quickly?
Sure.
So I've been looking a lot at the quarterbacks this year, this last week actually, and I didn't see the Senior Bowl because I've been busy in the last few days. But for me, I think if I'm taking a quarterback, it is Willis. I'm not taking on the others. I'm not even taking the Riddler. But for me, I think the things that he needs to work on, I think, can probably be taught. Things like his footwork, things like the Jameis Winston tendency that I think he's seen. And Tim, I think you know more, but I think you would probably say that his ability or tendency to try and do it all by himself recently is more because his talent around him is less. So therefore, I'm the special guy on the team. I don't know which it is, but I think those things can be coached out. And I think if you draft him, then you do sit him for a year, get him up to speed that way. And I think if you do that, then I would probably be less tempted to trade down pick 7 if you took him at 5, because I think that's where you'd have to take him.
Right.
Than I would be if you were to take any other player in another position at 5. Then I would trade down 7, just to go back to your previous question. But for me, Malik's issues are coachable, and that's what makes me slightly less nervous about taking a quarterback. Because all players coming out of the draft have issues that they will need to work on, but they don't worry me in the way it would be if it was, say, Daniel Jones and it wasn't necessarily picked up by everyone that he's a first read. I don't necessarily agree he's a first read, but first read quarterbacks will find it really tough. They will not be able to adapt. I don't have that concern with Malik.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need it. And this is a good. Dominic's got a good point here. The other Dominic, get Willis at the 5, trade back with the 7, get a lineman and linebacker with compensation. I mean, if I think I can get a linebacker, a quality one after 10, because I think the Giants are prudently looking at the fact that they may want to trade out of one of the top 10 picks. Because the fact that once you get into the teens, your dead cap space, not your dead cap space, but we're gonna have a lot of that. Your rookie salary pool is going to be lessened, and I think the Giants may be, Dominic, looking at that doing as well. The mod is saying we're 53 likes away. Please get your ass in gears and like the channel. We're trying to reach 10,000. I never had a goal to reach 10,000. I never had a goal to reach over 1 million views. That was never a goal of mine because I don't know. Never thought that would happen. But we're trying to sell poppycocker merchandise. so we got to reach 10K to do it.
It's trademarked and everything.
It's trademarked and everything. That's something so seriously wrong with me. Damn. Show us a spot of tea.
I haven't got any tea. It's far too late in the evening.
I was going to ask, Dom, this is actually a question for you. Are there any light bulbs in the Shire? How dark is your room?
It's weird. I think
you keep leaning in. I'm scared. Dom was like, okay, and yeah, I think this is a good show right now. I'm just curious how dark it is in the Shire.
It's the light bulb.
Are the lamplighter's not working tonight?
No, the hamster's getting tired. It's been a busy couple of days.
The hamsters are getting tired. OGR, I'm glad you can hang in with us for this hour. I'm gonna have to, Dom and I are gonna do the last hour because I've got a bunch of these super chats. But I want to give you, as I always do, because you were gracious enough to come in and deal with this one more time. Something seriously wrong with you since you keep coming back for this. What are your final thoughts? Like I said, I always give Dom his final thoughts on the show. It could be anything. It could be about the Giants. It could be about.
Don't worry, OGR. I never think about it either, and it catches me out every week.
Yeah,
what are your final thoughts?
It's not like you don't know it's not going to come every week.
My final thoughts are: I like the position where the Giants are right now. I like our hires for the most part, minus Kafka. Not a fan of Kafka. I wanted the pep. I wanted more pep in my step. But right now, I like where I like the Giants where they're going. I think fans are reading too much into helping Daniel Jones, and fans need to start thinking about the future as a collective. I know it's hard to do, but to me, I always look and I say, what does this point to? And to me, the obvious thing is not always the obvious thing. It's never the obvious thing in the NFL. Very few times it is. Like I said before, I think this proves that we're going to be drafting a quarterback. There's no doubt in my mind. May it be a Pickett, may it be whoever that is, but everything says we're going to surround a QB with parts. We're going to spend a year, try and get everything ironed out. We're going to bring in a veteran, whoever that may be, if we can afford it. And yes, I do believe what you were saying before. We will be trading. I think we will be trading one of those picks back, most likely 7, to address more things and taking the quarterback at 5. That's just my personal opinion.
And then the last question of the day for you, not for in general. Any chance coming back?
Coming back, to what extent, I do not know. I do have a passion for it. I sit there, and it's going to sound foolish, and I think I've said it before on your channel. I sit in the car, and I record myself.
Right.
And I record myself. I record a video. I record my thoughts. Hell, even when everything was going on with Flores, I wanted to give my opinion on that. So, but right now, it's not in the cards, because even now I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I really should be starting supper for my kids. What am I doing on this freaking channel? But
good point.
you messaged me, and I was like, okay. So it's just right now the kids are far too young, and there's just so much more I can be doing. Springtime, I'm going to be coaching football. I'm going to be coaching soccer. They're begging me to play basketball, but unfortunately, where I am, the basketball program is been nonchalant, so I got to figure out that. But they're staring at me right now with intent in their eyes, like, where is the food, Dad? So you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. I appreciate you bringing me on, Tim, and hopefully we do this in the future.
We definitely will. Appreciate it, OGR.
OGR, before you go, I coached to 5 out of 6 wins on Saturday with my team. 5 out of 6. Very proud of my boys.
There you go.
I heard about that. Congratulations, my friend.
25 goals we got this weekend. But
and Dom, always a pleasure. I was just going
to say the same.
Well, when
you're not too nice to Dom. You don't have to be nice to Dom. That's not a rule. That's not a rule here.
But
Dom is like Alfred's brother. He hasn't even made it to Robin. He hasn't even made it to Alfred. He's Alfred's brother, John.
Serious question: when is Poppycockers moving from West London to the New York area?
Oh, we will have a New York,
a US franchise.
I just love the fact though that people want merchandise and things for a strip club that's in my head.
I think I said this last week. It was like I was trying to explain to my wife. She's like, do you guys do drugs on the show or what?
I wish we should.
All right, guys. I'll check.
What is wrong with you?
All right. Well, thank you, OGR. Duke of you just sent me a message. Jones will be better.
Yeah. No. That's not.
Well, I can't read. Don't send me a private message and don't tell me I can't fucking read it.
No, don't read it. Don't read it. No, don't read that one. We get banned. We get taken off the air.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Why would you profess your love for me in a private chat? That's just weird. You can do it here live. Ibuprofen. Thank you for the super chat. Now the judge could still be a good coach, but have to agree he was thrown in the fire with Gettleman. And by the days go, I realize more and more how bad Gettleman and his regime really was. Now, of course, the judge or not. I guess he's an assistant head coach now with the Patriots. Is it assistant head coach or is he?
I think he's definitely the special teams coordinator. I saw one report saying that he was going to be the assistant head coach, but I am now looking it up. But I accidentally caught the wrong button and started loading something else up. Hang on.
Mr. Authentic, do you want to Google?
I'm good at Google.
Do you want to Google? Do you want to come on and be the Googler? Because
he's your offensive assistant as well. There you go.
All right. Thank you, Dom. Thank you, though. To me, Gettleman. I tried to give Gettleman, and I think we all tried to give Gettleman the benefit of the doubt in the beginning. But I think after year 3, I started doing videos like Gettleman's scratch and dent free agents, and you just kind of saw like just kind of rolling downhill.
Yeah, I mean, when Gettleman came in, the situation was horrid. Unfortunately, he took us full circle and put us right back where we started. Yeah. And hey, Authentic as well, by the way. He's just seen you in the chat as well.
The moderator says people like the video. I don't know why the moderator is telling me to tell you to like the video. If you don't like the video, you know what? Dom and I are just going to sit here. And we're just going to stare at each other.
Lovingly or just randomly?
Dom, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Wink system from Mr. El Gigante. Wink system needs good press cover corners, which we have some of those guys. So Bradbury.
Oh, we've lost him.
Good press cover corners. You want cheese fries or? That's a good question. Dom, do I want cheese fries or regular fries?
Oh, I always have regular fries. So cheese fries it is then.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the cheese fries. No, regular fries. I can't have cheese fries. I just worked out today. Can't have cheese fries. That would be like one of those things that you do, like drinking beer and running on a treadmill. Dom, can you get any closer to the camera? Oh my goodness gracious! Virtual hug time.
Full head of hair. Look, full head of hair.
Full head of hair. I'm getting my hair. Tomorrow I will not be wearing a hat when next stream on Sunday because I'm getting a haircut. So
do you know what it was with the camera actually? But I was trying to click my back; it was really hurting. I forgot to move the laptop back.
It's tea time at Poppycockers. If anyone didn't know that, is it tea time?
Really
at Dom, is it tea time?
It's not tea time at Poppycockers.
It's Poppycockers.
I spent too long in the champagne room.
Oh no! Dom is in the champagne room at Poppycockers, busting the London adult entertainment on the West End. If you're looking to get your Poppycock, there's only one place to go. It's Poppycockers. It's 2 for 1 elf night, and all hobbits get in at half price. If you're looking for the best place to go, it's always going to be the Poppycockers. There we go. You know what we're going to have, and I wasn't going to announce it, but I'm going to announce it. We, of course, have the online Big Blue OG members only club. We are actually going to have, and I haven't even told Dom about this yet, we are actually going to have the Poppycockers VIP club. I have decided if it's the Poppycockers Champagne Room VIP club, but we are going to have a VIP membership club to Poppycockers. And you, again, Dom, I know this is going to be big news to you. One of the things that we are going to be giving away when you subscribe, we are actually giving you a Poppycocker VIP champagne room token.
Wow. I mean, at least we're not taking this imaginary idea way too far. I mean, I think it's important that we don't do that.
I saw these, man. These are really cool. They're like poker chips. And I've already started on the new Poppycocker logo, and I've already stopped on the chip. And it will be a champagne room Poppycocker VIP token you'll get for just subscribing.
Have you been drinking and late night eBaying at the same time?
I don't watch TV. What do you want from me?
eBaying, even I know eBay is not on TV.
Oh, eBay's not on TV. You're right. Maybe if eBay was on TV, it would be better. Dom, Mr. Authentic says, "What's up, Dom?"
Hey, man. How are you?
What's up? Jones injuries are as follows: a rolled ankle, a pulled hammy, throwing, a concussion from running into 2 people, a messed up neck while running into 3 people. Clearly, it's the offensive line's fault.
Not with him. Not him running with his head down.
No, I mean that. What quarterback would do that?
I don't know. I wonder. Can we trade him just for kicks and giggles to Indianapolis so that they can have Carson Wentz and Daniel Jones and see which one can get on the field more?
It's Daniel Jones.
So we can all drink.
It's Daniel Jones. Never mind.
Oh, we're gonna miss Daniel Jones. Oh, Bob Hill. Hey, Bob. Fries and brown gravy for me, please.
Oh, good Lord, no.
That is good.
No. No. It's a very northern thing in this country, and I have no issue with people from the north because my family is from the north. However, gravy on chips is a no. Just no.
Oh, that's right. It's fish and chips.
There's nothing wrong with fish and chips. However, I am such an English gentleman that when I do fish and chips, you're supposed to eat it out of paper using your hands. Now I take my own knife and fork. My wife is genuinely embarrassed and sits about 20 foot away from me when I do it. But I do. I take a plate and a knife and fork.
Bradbury, Mr. Andre Little says Bradbury can press. And here's my thing with Bradbury. I do think Bradbury is going to be a cap casualty, Tom. What about you? I mean, I think
I don't see.
I think he's going to get whacked. But would you?
Do you think he'll get traded, or do you think he'll have to be cut?
I think he'll have to be cut. He makes too much money. But
the salary is going to be an issue, right? Yeah.
Do you think they try to restructure the deal?
Well,
I mean, because listen, the cap is effed. No matter what we do, the cap is effed. But trying to take him to take less money and take less guaranteed money and kind of roll it into a bonus, I would keep Bradbury because he's right. Because you're going to need a press cover corner. You're going to need at least 2 in the system.
He lost a little bit of something this year, but I do wonder how much of that was just the way the whole team was rather than Bradbury. I don't know. Time will tell. I think it depends on whether you can restructure a deal where you don't hit the cap much worse. But I think if you look at the way Shane was talking and you take him on face value, then it would suggest that he's not looking to restructure. He's looking just to clear the decks as quickly as possible and get us back to where he was. Now, you know, you're a better cap expert than I am. And if the bonus aren't guaranteed, it doesn't go against the cap, right? So if they could do it that way, then sure. And I'm not against Bradbury. I like Bradbury. You know, and I think if you can keep Bradbury for 1 more year, then you're not having to worry about the secondary this year, and you can focus on other areas that need it. But you certainly don't want to restructure him in a way that it's
going to hurt the organization.
It's going to push the cap further and further down the road. And I genuinely actually believe Shane when he says that. I was talking where you were gone with OGR about the Daniel Jones comments. I don't necessarily buy them, but I do buy the cap sort of plan. I do buy that.
Right. No matter what a stripper tells you, there is no sex in the champagne room. Well, that's not true because there is in my brain. And that's where the club is.
I mean, I don't like to talk about the incident that happened on Sunday. It was a big cleanup job. Urban was busy. But the rules were violated and it did cause us issues. We had to open late and everything.
It does. Cut Martinez and Peppers, keep Bradbury. Peppers, we don't need to cut because Peppers a free agent. So, Jay, we don't have to worry about that. But I would actually cut Peppers and keep Bradbury. I mean,
sorry, I misheard you. Did you say cut Peppers because he's gone?
No, I said I would cut Martinez and keep Peppers.
Yeah, I think
Peppers.
So.
I mean, yes, I would keep.
Pepper. You re-sign Peppers, cut
salary in the dead cap space. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause I think I can't remember what the dead cap space is for Blake off the top of my head, but I think that would be more than enough to cover the Peppers. Google it.
Yeah, no, I got it. Martinez. I've got the whole team here. I'm just looking for Martinez. But on that, I mean, you've got to be worried about Blake Martinez. It would save 9.5.
I thought it was like 9.
Eight and a half.
I thought it was 9. I actually thought it was 9.5. So because I think
it's 8.5. It's 8.5. You'd say.
I think you could still get. I think you could still get Peppers for that contract. Tim, what was the biggest draft bust and disappointment of Ernie Accorsi's Giants era? Ron Dane. You draft a Heisman winner. The way he put up numbers at Wisconsin, and he comes in here and you find out that he's slower than molasses on a Sunday. And I don't know why molasses would be slower on any other day but Sunday, but that's what people say. Cut.
Well, what it does show is there's no sure thing coming out of college.
No, there's not. And that's the thing. And that is the 100% thing. Don, for the people that weren't here earlier, I had the footage from the Wink Martindale from his room, his defensive room before a game. And I this was footage that because LJ is here. This is footage that I obtained through certain circumstances and certain people. So I don't want to brag about how this came out, but we have footage of Wink's defensive room before the game.
What's your assignment? Kill the quarterback. Hit the tight end so hard his girlfriend dies. Kill everybody.
That was one of Wink's players, of course. That was actually Alvin Mack from the program. Ron Dane. Look, Saeed's got Ron Dane. Hey, Saeed, I didn't see you there. What do you think of okay, Dom, this is something I want to talk about this because I think this is stupid and idiotic. And I'm not calling you that, Zach. What do you think of Tony trade rumors? They're not trading Tony. A writer came out and said, these are the under the radar players that the Giants may trade. And the Twitter sphere went bananas. It's just a guy, it's a stupid guy writing an article about players he thinks that they should trade. And people are like, they're going to trade Tony. There's no validity to it, Dom. There's no one. He didn't have someone in the secret room of the Shane. They're still evaluating talent. And I'm not yelling at you, Zach, but I just see these people. They just it makes my head hurt.
You don't know what you got in Tony after the first year. He barely played. He barely trained. You got to hope that turns around in year 2. It can't continue. Otherwise, he's going to be the next DeAndre Baker. Not hopefully with the incident in Florida or Texas, whichever one it was in. But there's no way. And also, I can't even be asked to explain. It's not going to happen.
Right. But Dom, talk these people down though. It's a writer who he did this for a lot of teams. Just said these are the under the radar. I got to do it with John Fasson the voice. These are the under the radar trades for the Giants. He's got no knowledge, and then people run with it like it's gospel.
But the thing is, if you're going to do those under the radar trades, at least make them realistic.
Right.
Like Saquon Barkley, right? It's at least a potential realistic trade.
I have a question.
I'm not saying you should do it, but
because you have it pulled up, what is his dead cap space number if we trade Kadarius Toney?
Tony is going to be horrific. Kadarius Toney dead cap number 11.225 million. Meaning, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So his cap number is 3 million, but we would cost
his
us
dead cap number we want is 11 million.
11.2 million. And I was going to say that when I was like, I can't be asked to explain. That is the issue, is that you would be paying him 3 million this year, and it will cost you 11 million to cut him.
And a large percentage of contracts. Now, what is his dead cap number in 2023? Can you go do that?
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to keep that page up, so I'm just going to get a new screen up. But yeah,
because I want to prove a point here.
It's just loading up, but it is being very slow. Here we go. Kadarius Toney. Oh, don't do it for this year. Do it for 2023.
Get a click to 2023.
Yeah. I'm just doing it.
Well, Dom is Googling.
Sorry, my internet is horrifically slow. Tony, here we go. Cap hit would be 3.7 next year.
So in 2 years,
5.5.
5.5, you would have 16 million in dead cap space because it's a guaranteed rookie contract.
Guaranteed all the way through.
Guaranteed all the way through. So you're gonna be incurred. Oh, people!
It's why I just stopped talking and literally just said I can't even be asked to explain why it's ridiculous.
Don't even want to talk about it. Two toes in the house. Salute Tim and Dom, dropping by the office to pay proper respects for all the Giant fans around the world. Unite. That's going to be the new thing. It's two toe.
Are you going to do it in the style of like a Brazilian commentator? Tuto! And just constantly see how long you can do it.
This is a great question. Who's dumber? Beat writers or Twitter?
I stay off Twitter.
You stay off Twitter.
So I'm going to go with them being dumber. There were some very good beat writers out there. Some very good beat writers. There are some out there that make ridiculous things to try and make a name for themselves and hope they can make it big. But there are some very good beat writers, so it's definitely Twitter. And look at me taking the question seriously.
I know he's having a Jack Daniels here. What's up? I'm having a Jack Daniels as usual. I can't have a Jack Daniels. I just worked out today. Jesus, why the hell would you trade Barkley? We're not, right, Tom? We're not going to trade.
No. The point. What I was saying was that if you're going to write the stories about under the radar trades, you at least make them realistic. A trade for Saquon Barkley is realistic. He's in his 5th year. I wouldn't do it. I might consider it towards week 8, as I said earlier. But I was using an example of a player that at least would be realistic if I was writing that story as potential trade. Kadarius Toney is not realistic.
No, it's not a realistic trade. You know what my biggest question of the day is, because I was thinking about this in the car. Sir Mix-a-Lot. Baby Got Back. Great song, I understand. But he never gets credit for any of his other music. He just popped up on my playlist.
It was often thus, right, with most artists, right?
He never gets, but he had great songs before Baby Got Back. My Hoopty's rolling, tailpipe's dragging, heat don't work, and my Harley keeps nagging. 6'9" Buick, dudes keep rolling, 1 hubcap because 3 got stolen. Come on, classic song, but for some reason he doesn't get the credit. But I digress. Big Blue, he avoids Twitter. It was It's Patrick Leonard. Was it Pat Leonard that did the article? I don't remember. Can we trade Leonard Williams? Watch this. Jay, watch this. Dom, do you have your Google chart up?
Yep. I think we're going back into the cap world of why we can't trade Leonard Williams.
Just this year. What's the cap number?
27.3.
That's the dead cap number?
Yeah. Sorry, dead cap is 35.6.
No, I was gonna say that's not the dead. 27 is not the dead cap number.
No,
what's the dead cap?
No, the cap is 27. The dead cap is 35.6.
$35.6 million if we get rid of him this year. No, we are not getting rid of.
That is a pre-June 1st. I can switch it to a post-June 1st.
What's a post-June 1st?
27.3. So much better.
Oh, so much better. So it was Pat Leonard. Okay. Pat Leonard, Posse's on Broadway. That's another great song by Sir Mix-a-Lot. Dom is like, what the hell is these two people talking about?
No idea. Logan Ryan's not getting cut either.
Logan Ryan, Dom, what's Logan Ryan's dead cap number for Mr. Andre?
Because there's no rhyme nor reason for the. Here we go. 11.4.
Is that the dead cap number or his cap number?
That is a pre-June 1st dead cap.
What's it after? I thought it was like 9 million after June 1st.
I'm just switching it over now. And Logan Ryan is 8.475.
You thought it was almost 9. Yeah, okay. So I was right. It's almost 9. So yeah, My Posse on Broadway. That is a great song. That is a great song.
How do you think Logan Ryan will fare this year?
I think he's lost the step.
He's getting old, right?
I think he only had 1 turnover. I mean, he had the turnover like the first week in the season, then he had 1 in week 17. He's not the he's going to be he's going to have to stay, but he's a calming influence on the defense, but he's got the coverage skills right now of Nate Ebner.
I must admit, when we re-signed him, I was like, no, don't re-sign him. He's had a great year. Don't re-sign him. Unfortunately we did, but nothing against him because I thought he played exceptionally well in that first year with us, but
I mean, it's not that I have anything. I don't have anything personally against him. Some people think I have this personal vendetta against the kid. I just don't. I mean, he's not even a kid. I think he talks a lot. I think there was some things that he did last year or the last couple years that kind of, he did some things that are questionable on the field, and they just kind of make it. They kind of make you pause. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I think what happened there? But I think he does care. I mean, not just about himself. I think he does want thing, but he's trying to make a name for himself. I think he's trying to build himself into something for his post career, and I can't blame him for that. He's getting towards the end of his career. But yeah, it's more he's on the field whether he can perform or not. And I think that's what concerned me about re-signing him. Was I was like, I think you just hit your last good season, and unfortunately, I think it proved to be thus.
Right. Tuto with the big super chat coming in here. Tim, you should check out George out of Purdue. He reminds me of myself 6 years ago, my senior year at college. Lots to learn to improve, but his effort, the ball snap for the game, stop is priceless. Here's my thing about George from Purdue. I call him George because we're buddies. He went down from his first season. I think he had 7.5, 8 sacks. I think his first season. Now he had 4.5. I think this year. What did he have? Let me look real quick. Let me show Dom how to do this. Oh, there we go, Dom. He had 4.5.
Do you want me to Google it?
No, he had 4. He had 7.5 his senior season at Purdue. His first season in 19. He had 2 in 20 because he was actually because of everything. Oh my goodness, going. And then he had 4.5 last year. I know a lot of guys are high on him. I'm not saying Tuto that he's not going to be a good NFL player. I'm not saying that at all. But to me, he slipped, or he's slipping, and I don't know where he's ending. I haven't really seen a lot about him in the draft analysts. I mean, you hear his name, but Dom, what do you think?
Well, you're exactly right. So I looked at the quarterbacks this week. I didn't really start looking much before we put our coaching team together. I know we didn't get the DC till earlier, but the offensive side was sort of sorted. So I looked at the quarterbacks first. So I haven't looked at the edges first. But you're right, Kafidis. You don't hear a lot about him. You hear about him very much in the next track down, but you're hearing more about Ojabo than you are Kafidis. But if you think back to early January, it was very much Kafidis that was sort of the next one off. So he does appear to be slipping. He might be someone you pick up if you trade back and you want an edge, but. I think he's certainly slipping back into the teens now.
Right.
But I'd have to look at him more closely.
I think he's going to fall back into the teens. And Tuto, if he looked like you, I would take him number 1 overall. Because again, I want to know how you got a picture of me coming out of the shower. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know what's going on. Someone just emailed.
I didn't realize. And I'm not saying that Tuto's got a fake tan, but judging by your face, that must be a fake tan you put on your body because the two don't match.
Dude, do you ever heard of the fact that maybe it's it's the way the camera angle is? The hell's wrong with you?
I didn't consider the camera angle.
You just gave $19 to the kids and you're going to mess with his tan? No. That's what you get, Dom. You mess with Tuto, you get the horns. Okay? All right? Now you're going to come back and you're going to apologize. We are waiting for the apology.
I will apologize to Tuto, even though I wasn't insulting him. I was saying it was not his tan I was insulting, but yours, if that is a picture of you, which it is not.
That is actually a good save.
That I said it straight away as soon as I said it. I said, I'm not talking about you, Tuto.
That's almost as good as when I say something dumb to my wife that I have to come back.
By the way, was that the biggest non-apology you ever heard? But I was not genuinely. I was not insulting Tuto. I mean, I mean, I would be problems. No, I know. Problems. And he's a lot closer to me than you are.
Someone asked me, yeah, it's true. Someone DM'd me on the Twitter sphere. And again, guys, this thing with Kadarius Toney and Barkley, stop. Just a guy on ESPN. I think it's Pat Learn's on ESPN. Is he on ESPN, Pat Learn? No, you don't know.
I don't know, but I can Google Pat Leonard.
Google the under the radar trades because this is the dumbest. And I'm not calling anyone dumb. That's what OGR does because I can blame him now. It's nothing. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Have a beer. Don't cost nothing.
New York Daily News.
New York Daily News. Oh, that's even worse. The Daily News is worse. Is a garbage rapper. Is a
That's
fisher.
what's coming up for me anyway, as opposed to a songwriter.
There's nobody's trading Kadarius Toney. We've already gone through what the dead cap number is going to be. You're not going to just basically say we made a mistake on the first round pick after the guy you traded down and got the guy after getting the assets from the Bears. It's one of the. Just relax, guys. Have a beer.
I mean, I wasn't a fan of the pick. Let's be clear. I really wasn't a fan of the pick. That was apparent by my face, which was not a happy bunny. But I'm also not giving up on him after 1 year in that offense last year. That offense was horrific, and
offense.
It was just awful. Like, it's a clean slate for him this year. Let's see what you can do.
Right. And so
there were some bits to work with there.
Someone just they're just. This is entertaining myself now because I'm watching other things.
All right. Well,
watching
you need
the
a
Knicks.
private room. I've got them at Poppycockers.
I'm watching. CJ McCollum is going to the Pelicans, and I'm entertaining myself by going, "Why are the Knicks so stupid?" And they're not. Never mind. I'm not going to get on the Knicks right now. But guys, he's stop. Who cares about this under the radar crap? No one cares. Dom has already given you the dead cap number. Someone asked me before, "Are you going to do a video about it tomorrow?" No, it's not a story. I would rather do a video
one
about
guy's opinion.
Wow, Dom, 2 gems. It's one guy's opinion. If you wanted me to do if you want me to speculate on things, Phil Simms is coming out of retirement. Lawrence Taylor we're going to clone Lawrence Taylor, and then we're going to find a way to bring back all the 86 Giants defensive players that are when they're in their prime. There, I speculated what the Giants should do. First year Logan.
So I just Googled to find the report. Unfortunately, our website is currently unavailable in your country, so I'm saved.
You're saved. You're saved. See, Andre Little here. First year, Logan Ryan was in the right place at the right time. I agree. He's a liability in coverage. He doesn't play well in the box like Peppers. No, he doesn't play well in the box. 100%. That's why we can't get rid of him, but we should get rid of him. It was Pro Football Focus. And worse, who's worse, the Daily News or Pro Football Focus? That's easy. Both of them suck.
No, come on. You can't keep dodging the question, man. Which one? Go on, pick one.
Neither.
No,
Both.
pick one. Come on.
Both.
No. Daily News or PF. If you had to read one for the next year,
if I had to read one for the next year, just one?
One of those 2 outlets.
I had to pick one of these 2, and I had to read one for the next year.
Yeah.
I would gouge my eyes out.
You could have answered. I could have gone with X because of comedy value. That was your out.
I'm going to go with X because of comedy value.
You're such a knob sometimes. You really are.
No, because I'm just not giving you the answer you want. And
that's why you're a bit of a knob.
And I'm not going to. Coming back in with the big super chat. He needs better coaching and training. He definitely has the potential to prove his technique in his moves. All I care about is will, determination, and effort. Determination, will, and effort can get you a long way. And I agree with that 100%. Because back in, like I've said it a million times, I was not what they would refer to as talented. And I've said it a bazillion times. The only thing that ever stopped me from going pro was injuries and lack of talent. Beyond that, if I didn't have those, I would have been all pro. But I got on the field because I was able to play with determination. And I agree, you can't teach. That's the one thing you cannot teach. And it's probably the same way in soccer, even though all you do is run around. It's probably the same way in soccer that, you can't teach determination. You can't teach effort. So Tuto, I do stand corrected. And it's Dom that said it wasn't me.
The thing with Tony that does concern you is his apparent lack of effort, in training and what have you.
I don't think we're talking about Tony. I think we're talking about George.
Sorry, we're talking about George. Sorry, my bad. But it applies to Tony, right? The talent is potentially there. It's
You're really backtracking it up today, man. I'm proud of you.
I know. I'm there. I'm living it.
I'm proud of you, man. You are really just dropping some dimes.
Reverse gear. I found it.
You're Daniel Jones in it today, my friend.
Yeah, just watch me crash five yards before the end of the stream.
Uh-oh. What is that?
Warning, it's the wink attack.
It's the wink attack.
Warning, it's the wink attack.
We will be having the wink attack soon. We will be having it. Jets can go best player available because they are in a better situation than the Giants. You know what's funny? And it's actually not funny. It's really not, because I hate the Jets. For no other reason besides the fact that they're the Jets. He's not wrong. I mean, with everything the Giants have done, I'm not talking about what the Giants have. I mean, I'm not talking coaching staff and what the Giants have done general manager wise, but I'm talking talent. I do think the Jets are above the Giants.
I said 12 months ago to you, I said, in some ways I feel for the Jets. They have improved massively. They're going in the right direction. I don't necessarily like their quarterback, but they are going to finish bottom of their division despite massively improving and heading in the right direction. And I think the Jets are in a better situation. I think they have a plan, and I think they're 2 years ahead of us right now in terms of actioning that plan. And injuries are part of football, but they lost a lot of injuries in the same position last year, and I think that did not help their first time head coach. It'll be interesting to see what happens this year. I think both head coach and quarterback need to make a big step forward this year. But yeah, I'd rather be a Giants fan than Jet fan, obviously. But I mean, the Jets are in a better position than us right now. I'd take their roster over ours any day.
Yeah, and that kills me to stay.
I said it to Chris, King of Idiots, earlier today. I think the AFC East is going to be massively exciting next year. Bills have no cap space, not really. Pats do. Dolphins are new and exciting. And I think the Jets are improving. I think that's going to be a very, very interesting division next year.
If Tony cleans up his route running, he could be a Tyreek Hill. I said this about Tony. I don't know how many times. I said it when he came out. The best thing that the scouts could say about Tony's route running skills is they called it unique. And I said it before, after that Dallas game, the issue that Tony's going to have is the fact that he took everyone kind of by surprise in Dallas. But as a defensive player, when you have what they refer, we called it back in the day a scat back, a guy that was just like all over the place. He could just make all the moves. The easiest thing to deal with a scat back is, or a scat wide receiver, is you just park yourself in front of him.
Wait for him to catch it and then come to you.
You mirror his moves, you keep him in front of you, and you wait for the cavalry. That's all you need. That's all you literally need to do. It's not a difficult situation. That's why Tony didn't have any success in Florida until his fourth season. And I think a lot of his success that fourth year was due to COVID, to be honest. So, I mean, I think it's going to be more, Jay, than him just cleaning up his route running. Dom?
I mean, it was a different sport, but yeah, I was like the tricky little ones that would do a million step overs. Yeah, you can do that in front of me all day long. I'll just stand here and wait for you, because you're either going to have to try and come past me, at which point I'm going to tackle you, or someone's going to come across, and there's two of us.
Right.
And it's very much the same with Tony. I think what you have to be looking for is him on those little short 6 yard slants.
And that's where he's going
to
either
take the 6 yards. And I think that's where he comes in and fills that role from Shepard.
I think he will be effective like that. But
and occasionally he'll get free and will go big. But
yeah, and that's the thing though. But if he does not, I think it's not just cleaning up his. Okay, Ruben Randall was a bad route runner. You remember Ruben Randall from the Giants?
I don't, but.
You don't remember Ruben Randall. Ruben Randall was Eli Manning, and he was the only player that I've ever seen Eli Manning yell at on the field. Because there was a game in Chicago where Eli Manning threw 3 interceptions, I think, in the first quarter. And the crazy thing is those interceptions were all at Ruben Randall because Ruben Randall ran the wrong route. And he's the only guy I've ever seen Eli Manning run at. And he was a bad route runner. That's why when the Giants cut him a year or two later, he latched on with the Eagles, and then he got cut again, and then he was out of the league because he was just a terrible route runner. But he did not have the maneuverability and the skill set of or the elusiveness of Kadarius Toney. So I think the biggest issue is Kadarius Toney needs to find a way to not be Ruben Randall. And Dom, you can Google Ruben Randall.
That's right. I don't need to. I think you gave a good description there. But you're right. He has to be able to. If you can't run a route, then you're not going to have a long-term career here. But if he can run those 6-yard slants, know how to run them, catch the ball, and if he can get free, then he could go big. But you know, he's got to put the work in now on the field and learning that playbook. And he's going to have a new playbook to learn now. That's what he needs to do. And I'm not saying he's not, but the evidence from what you hear suggests otherwise, and that is concerning.
Right. Tuta with the Tuta super chat. There's no money in the world that can buy will, effort, and determination, which I've learned through my pro career, and I'm still learning and grinding out every single day. And that's exactly kind of what and that's why I jumped into the super chat real quick, because that's kind of what you just said. I mean, that kind of just wraps it up. If you don't have the effort, if you don't have the determination, you could have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the effort and determination, you're not going to be able to succeed.
You hear it all the time, over here with our football players, and there are players that have had massive careers and they're not the most talented, but they put the work in, and they say, look, when I was coming through the academy, I was the 5th, 6th best player in the academy, but yet I'm the only one that's here in the top leagues now. And it's because they made effort and learned and adapted and, listened to the coach and improved. I mean, I played low level, but I played more often for the first team than the second team because they knew exactly what I was going to do. I had my limitations, but I knew what they were and played within them, and you could rely on me. Give me that job and I will do that job. Try and expand my job beyond what I can do. I'm not going to do it, but I can be relied on, and I'm going to work really, really hard all day long. And that's why I played in the first team, not the second team. Wasn't more talented than the second team player. I definitely wasn't.
There was a great line in the movie The Natural with Roy Hobbs. Roy Hobbs, people that don't know the movie, of course, was a baseball player. He was the natural. He relied on talent because he had the talent. And there's a scene in the very beginning of the movie where he's playing catch with his father, and his father tries to explain to him that talent is just not enough. That there's so many people that have talent, but that's only a part of what makes you great. And I think I'm not saying Kadarius Toney's gonna be great, but I'm just saying that's kind of what I'm looking at there. Fabian's dropping up, going, what's up? A little late there, Fabian. We're checking out here soon. And we got a big hello coming in. Hello. Can you describe what Kerry Collins was like at quarterback? I don't think Dom knows Kerry Collins too well. Do you know Kerry Collins?
I'm familiar
Number
with
5.
the name. Familiar with the name, but not to the point that I would be able to describe his style.
Kerry Collins is the one I got in trouble with that started my my podcast career, because Kerry Collins was an alcoholic. And I said that I didn't like Kerry Collins because I thought he was a quitter because he gave up drinking. See, people took that wrong. Who knew? Kerry Collins, number 5, good pocket passer. He had the issues, of course, in Carolina because of his drinking. He went over to the Saints. He was
that's ironic.
Yeah, I know. He was a good. He went to Mardi Gras. He was a good deep ball threat. He was a guy that, he was more than a bridge, and it took a while to find the bridge, but he was more than a bridge between Phil Simms and Eli Manning. He was part of the time when we were lost in the desert, but he had like a good 3-4 year run. And of course, then he went over to the Raiders and he kind of continued his career, but he had a good couple of years. So I'm
familiar with the name because you've talked about him many times before, but I never saw him play.
Yeah, I saw him play. Hey Tim. Hey Alex. We got Wink. We did. We need better linebackers to fit the defense scheme. Ojulari is the best edge on the team. I need to wrap up because my dinner's here. I'm being yelled at by Mrs. Online Big Blue. Alex, we talked about that. We were actually talking at the beginning of the show. LJ remembers number 82, which is Ruben Randall. Oh, Ruben Randall was terrible. Wonder Boy. Of course, that was the name of Roy Hobbs's bat. Only losers quit. That's true. I don't disagree. He took us against the Super Bowl against Baltimore. We lost, but we got there. We did, but we also got there on a wonderful defense, on the back of a wonderful defensive effort. But he did. I went to 2 giant Super Bowls. I went to 86 and I went to 2000. And the 2000 was in Tampa, and that was not a good day. That was not a good day. But he did bring us to the Super Bowl. Like I said, he was talented, but like I said, he just wasn't. Like I said, he was better than a bridge. All right, my friend, have yourself a good evening. We'll see you later as well. Didn't the Kerry Collins have some good? He didn't have good years with the Panthers. He got to the playoffs with the Panthers, but his drinking problems happened with the Panthers. Zach is bringing in number 82, Mario Manningham, and the catch on the sideline in the Super Bowl. Manningham, I don't think he gets the credit beyond making that catch. I mean, he got injured basically right after that.
To be fair, if I'm going to be a member of something, I'm all right with that.
Oh my goodness, Mrs. Online Big Blue loved Kerry Collins. No, actually, she did like Miss Kerry Collins. I laughed because Mrs. Online Blue hated Kurt Warner. She used to call Kurt Warner numbnuts because I'd be watching the game and she'd be like, "The numbnuts fumble again. The numbnuts throw an interception. When are they going to put in Eli Manning? What is numbnuts doing now?" I always thought that was awesome.
I love that. She's never called me numbnuts yet, but I suspect that it's probably not going to be long before she.
Oh, you're a numbnuts.
She calls me that.
Don't worry, you're a numbnuts. Enjoy your dinner. I'm going to leave in a couple minutes, guys. Enjoy your dinner. But thank you, Jay. We got another Tuta super chat. I've since been appointed to captain of our D 5 months ago. I made it clear that I have 2 pick screens, interviews, and sign them every single D player. My team, my rules. That's what you got to do. It's you know what you got. You know what? I love defense. I think everybody knows that I was a defense player. You know, I loved hitting people because it's just,
And that wasn't just when you were on the field. That was just in general.
It wasn't either. And thank God that ended. And I would like to say that it ended years ago. It didn't end years ago, but I'd like to say that it ended years ago. But you know what? That's what you got to do, though. It's and that's the thing. I hope that the Giants figure out, and I think they need to find someone on the defense that kind of has the Tuto philosophy. That I'm the captain, because I don't think we've had that in the last couple of years with the Giants. Someone that stood out in the Giant locker room. I know Logan Ryan tries it, but we don't have the emotional Michael Strahan, firing the guys up, stomping people out. We don't have the Harry Carsons, the Lawrence Taylors. We don't have the Antonio Pierces. We don't have someone sitting out there and just say, "Hey, you know what? Get on it, guys."
I do think you can lead in different ways, but when things are really, really bad, you do need a bit of G'ing up. You do need that little bit of a spark, a fire lit beneath you. Eli Manning led the team for years, and he was never that. But you got the feeling though that there were guys around that could do that in the locker room that could provide that different voice when that energy surge was needed.
Right. I love it there. We should draft a Georgia linebacker. We should.
I thought you didn't want Dean. He's from Georgia, right?
He's from Georgia. Is Numbnuts still on TV? I don't know if Numbnuts is still on TV.
No, but he's right here on the stream, right next to me.
Well, that's true. You looking in the mirror again?
Yeah.
Because evidently there's no one next to me in the stream.
Really?
Kerry Collins, I think I love this one. I think he meant Kerry Collins was a great white drunk. Should not make fun of alcoholism.
Well, maybe he just played well in Carolina because he was drunk.
Oh, geez.
My greatest ever performance came well, so I wasn't even hungover. The hangover hadn't hit.
I mean, that was OGR told me to say that. I didn't say that. He told me to say that.
He's not here to defend himself. You're fine.
Of course, I know. Kerry Collins was inaccurate. He never saw a pair of feet that he didn't love throwing to. He was inconsistent with the Giants' flashes. He also threw for over 4,000 yards. All super chats. Help buy costumes for the ladies at Poppycockers. No, we're actually sending it to the kids with cancer. So I guess
probably more important.
I guess it's just as good. Send it to those kids with cancer.
And the costumes don't stay on long at Poppycockers.
Ooh, Dom, that was a good one. All right, Dom, we're gonna end it now because evidently I got to go have dinner. What are we gonna end it with, Dom? What's your final thought?
Well, is it too early for you to call the Super Bowl?
Yes. I'm going to call
about it.
I am going to call the Super Bowl on Sunday at 10:30 on the 10:30 stream.
I thought it might be, so I'll ask you a different question.
Okay.
I'm going to exclude the Giants, but I'm not sure it would have been your pick anyway. Best head coach hire out of the other 8 teams that have hired a head coach.
Shockingly, I'm going to say Doug Peterson, the Jaguars. I think if you're looking for a guy to develop a quarterback and you're looking for an offensive system, I think it was proven now that Frank Reich wasn't the genius with Carson Wentz in Indianapolis. I do think it had something to do with what's that?
It was the doctors.
The doctors. I think it has something to do with a little bit of Doug Peterson. So I'm going to say I like the Doug Peterson hire for the Jaguars.
I mean, he's the only one with experience, right? And I think that automatically gives him an edge. I think the other one I think would be interesting, and we don't know because he's never been head coach before, is Mike McDaniel. And I apologize. I thought someone was talking about Josh McDaniels the other day, who I don't like that hire. But Mike McDaniels in the Dolphins could be very, very interesting, given the roster he's got there. He's going to be under pressure from day one. That will be an interesting one. But if that works, then that Dolphins team could fly.
Yep, I agree 100%. All right, everyone, we're out of here. Zach, Fabian, Lord Dyson, Mr. Alvarez, we are out of here for this evening. Of course, we will be back on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be no extra stream today. There will be no extra ice cream with dinner. So there will be no extra stream. We will have the Sunday stream at 10:30. Maybe Dom, if he's around, will graciously stop in for a moment and give us his Super Bowl pick. It is going to be the big Super Bowl stream. Talking not only Giants. Oh, we got one last super chat. I led my team by example by destroying opposing teams' offenses every single game. Never give up, never go down, never back down, never surrender, which is a good movie. Dom, is that what you teach your kids?
Yeah, you don't give up. Yeah, 100%.
Because we always say that with my son. You don't quit. You don't give up. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how bad it gets, you never quit.
I was really proud of my lad again on Sunday, and he wasn't the only one. He made a mistake, and you know what? He raced back, and he ended up blocking the ball. But even if he hadn't, the effort for him to get back was exactly what I wanted to see from the boys. You know,
and that's what you want. Oh yes, and we are going. I think someone did remind me. Right, we will be having the Draft Baby contest for best drafts babies. I will do it one time.
Draft baby, yeah.
So we will be doing the best draft baby.
Uncanny.
I know, sounds just like you. Joe Rev says, hasta luego. Hasta luego. Don't sit on my Winnebago. We're out of here, guys. Big Blue Mod is the best. I don't know where the Big Blue Mod went, but the Big Blue Mod, he may have had to do something now. So you gotta get serves me right for only getting one mod. But Big Blue Mod is the best. 2 thumbs up for the moderator. Big Blue Mod 1. I think, or is it Big Blue Mod 1? Because I think we're gonna have Big Blue Mod 1 and Big Blue Mod 2. I even created accounts for these people. That's how awesome I am. But Dom, I appreciate you hanging in there and stopping by for the last 2 hours. It's always a blast. And everyone, have yourself a good evening. Stay safe. Dom, say good night.
Good night, Dom.